Hi everyone, I'm Suzanne Clemens, one of the pastors at Trinity United Methodist Church in Lafayette, Indiana, and it's a pleasure for me to be sharing the message with you all this weekend. It is a big weekend for us at Trinity. We are celebrating our high school and college graduates this weekend. We're also observing Mother's Day, so it'll be a really special Sunday for us. And for those of you who know my family, you all are probably aware that this whole year is a really big year for our family. Our youngest son, Aiden, is one of the graduates that we'll be recognizing. He is graduating from high school in 3 weeks. This year, also, our oldest son, Quinn, this fall is heading into his senior year of college. And Brent and I are entering the season of becoming, what we call empty nesters. And so it's just this amazing season of growth and transformation for us. And for me, one of the most touching traditions for our graduating high school seniors is their visit back to their elementary school. Here in our community, the kids get to go back and walk through the halls of their elementary school, flanked by the cheering children who come out of their rooms and their elementary teachers, many of whom come back from retirement on that day to congratulate them and encourage them forward in their journey. And this is just overall that time of year when I am really cognizant of the multitude of teachers and mentors and directors and coaches who have helped us raise our kids. And I bet all of you can relate to what I'm talking about. Whether you've experienced this kind of support with kids of your own, or if you can remember your own experience of being mentored by those important people who showed up in your life at just the right time, we can all think of someone who made a difference right when we needed it. I'll never forget Quinn's senior year of high school when he was torn about whether or not to continue with soccer, which he had played every year, and he didn't want to abandon as a senior. He'd even been co-captain of the soccer team, but he'd also had 2 concussions while playing soccer. So he was considering playing tuba in the marching band instead, and he went to both his soccer coach and the band director. And Coach Cup and Mr. Paulson were so encouraging to him. You can't go wrong. Either way you decide, they said. And we would love to have you in our activity, but we want you to do what's right for you, and we support you in choosing what you desire for your senior year. And I was so grateful for the freedom that their selfless mentoring gave to my son. And I remember my youngest Aiden's first play at Civic Theater. He was in Fiddler on the Roof Jr. And I remember director Julie Bauman telling me about how after the play they had the cast party, and all of the other kids are having fun with each other at the pizza party and exchanging gifts, but my child is sitting isolated in the dark theater, devastated. He's crying because the show has come to an end. But she went to him and comforted him and uplifted him, and then he went on to perform in other plays and was surrounded by all of these amazing adults and young adults who mentored him. And during one show about 5 years ago, he was supported so beautifully by the directors that they became his honorary moms. So he had mom number 1, but he also had mom number 2 and mom number 3. And one of those was our own Monica Schaefer, who's now our music director at Trinity. And just last week, my husband, Brent, attended a teacher awards banquet where Lucas's high school esports coach, Miss Van Leer, was being recognized. And she remembered Lucas, our son, for his love of esports, one of his favorite high school spaces where he found encouragement and community. And this teacher went on to encourage him to apply for a job at Purdue when he graduated from high school. And Lucas has held that position for 2 years now and has even received a promotion. So I am just so humbled and deeply grateful as I reflect on the way so many have poured themselves into my family. It's easy for us to imagine that we are, independent and self-sufficient, that we've arrived where we are by our own skill and effort, but that is simply not the case. We are intricately connected. We need each other. And for our graduates this year who are listening, I want to encourage you to seek out folks who will mentor and advocate for you. Those with wisdom, who are selfless and patient and compassionate with you. You know, those people who truly see you and who encourage you to become full and free in the way that God intends you to be. And always be grateful for the mentors who arrive in your life. We are really designed to live in community, and we need each other, and we need God. And God has made us in His image. And if you think about it, the very nature of our God is communal. There is this fusion between our divine Creator and Jesus the Son and the Holy Spirit. They are each a person of God, and yet they are one and the same. And this is the beauty and the mystery of the interconnected Trinity. So think about it. God really models for us, really in God's very self, how God intends our interconnected selves to be. And in our gospel reading today, from John chapter 14, Jesus tells the disciples that He's going to be leaving them, but He is sending another to be with them always. And the Spirit is going to come to them and remain with them. They're going to have another companion. They will never be left alone. And the way this companion is understood in the original language of the Bible is really multifaceted. And our English language does not fully capture the dimensions of presence that the Spirit will give us. Our promised companion will be an advocate for us, our comforter, our encourager, our teacher, and the one who gently speaks truth to us. The companion will be all of these things. And my sense of the companion, from my own experience, is that the companion will come to us in whatever way we need most in the moment. We are not meant to journey alone, and we will never journey alone as long as we stay open and humble and connected to the loving source of our being. And there's mutuality here. What does Jesus say? He says, "Whoever keeps my commandments loves me, and whoever loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will love them and we will reveal myself to them." So the companion will grow in us as we grow in love and put on the mind of Christ. When we desire to love God with all our heart and mind and strength, and when we strive to love our neighbor just as much as we love ourselves, well, that's when the companion comes to us and actually transforms us. And it's through this companioning that we can become like Jesus, loving like He did, forgiving like He did, extending mercy like He did, and speaking truth like He did. We're not going to be stuck in mind and spirit in the self-centered and fearful ways of the world. We're brought into a higher, renewed place of being. We're gifted with a way of seeing and living that brings true life and freedom and goodness. That is what the companion, the Holy Spirit, will do in us when we love God with all that we have, and when we walk the talk by being humble, gentle, compassionate people who fiercely love each other. Well, how do we know, that the companion is moving and present in our lives and working in our lives? Well, we're told that the companion produces in us joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So graduates, and all of you really, right, when you experience the blessing of these gifts in your life, go for more of that. And how do we know when other forces are operating that should give us pause? Well, selfishness, greed, obsession, bitterness, losing our temper, competitive opposition, conflict and fear, These are states of being we all experience as human beings, but they should give us pause because they probably aren't in sync with our companion. But they can be red flags that call our attention to our need for the companion so that we can recenter and listen for the higher truth and guidance that is within us. So we do not journey alone. We have been created in the image of a loving God who cherishes us and seeks to make his home in our very souls. And I look out at our congregation and all of our young people, especially this weekend, and I am amazed and humbled by God's handiwork in your lives. And I can't wait to see you each go out and do your own beautiful thing. And I know that the companion will be with you every step of the way.